Hi Chakits, I have been following you and watching your YouTube channel for years.
I have decided to finally relocate to Las Vegas and want to start a new chapter in my life. I know you're the perfect realtor to help guide me to find my next dream home. I am looking for a modern kitchen, large backyard with a pool and a golf course community.
My name is Chakits Krulsawat with Simply Vegas, a licensed real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I help buyers like this all the time, so if you're looking for a licensed professional, give us a call at 702-319-1092 or visit lvhomeexperts.com. Buying a home starts here. Does your house look like and have you been considering remodeling your home for some time now? Well, if you love real estate like I do and appreciate the attention to detail in the craftsmanship required to build a remodel or a gorgeous home, then I got the perfect company for you. Guys, I highly recommend Design Zone Remodeling. They are a stellar company that will turn your outdated home into your own personal sanctuary. They specialize in bathroom remodels, kitchen remodels, and full house remodels. Design Zone Remodeling has a reputation for excellent workmanship, competitive fees, and being able to offer a wide range of services and deliver the outstanding results to their clients. I use Design Zone Remodeling on my personal properties. Give Design Zone Remodeling a call today at 725-223-0871 or visit their website at designzoneremodeling.com to request a free consultation today. Is your credit score holding you back from purchasing a home? GC Credit Coaches is a repair company that's made easy. Their goal is to challenge and remove all negative errors that hurt your credit score. On average, GC clients see about 10.2 negative items removed over 4 months. Start improving your credit score today with a simple 2-minute online enrollment for a free consultation and a complete credit audit. GC Credit Coaches offers competitive monthly pricing, no contracts, no hidden fees, and the service stops once you are satisfied. GC Credit Coaches removes inquiries, collections, charge-off bankruptcies, and repossessions. Don't forget to visit gccreditcoaches.com.
Attention contractors, remodelers, and homeowners. Is your renovation becoming a pain in the glass? Here at Las Vegas, we take care of all of your glass needs, from a broken window to custom shower doors, mirrors, wine enclosures, storefronts, railings, and much more. We can even help you with new or replacement thermally broken windows. We're a full-service, woman-owned glass company that provides unparalleled workmanship, excellent communication, and great customer service. Glass Vegas. We do glass with class.
All right, what's up, everybody, and welcome live to the LV Home Experts Podcast. This is where we talk about real estate financing, what's going on with the Las Vegas housing market. Today, we got a very special guest. You guys probably know him. You see him all over YouTube. The man, the myth, the legend. Finally, we get to meet in person. Jack Graham. What's up, baby? How's everything going?
Everything great.
You like the intro?
Yeah, that was awesome, man. Thank you.
What's funny is we got a bunch of people jumping on here, and they're like, yo, that's Jack. Jack's in the building. Dude, you must be famous on YouTube, man.
Not really.
You don't think so? Stop it. Put that mic a little bit closer to you. There you go. I want to hear your voice, because you got a good voice, that's why. I think that's why a lot of people like it. It's your voice.
It must be.
There you go. Right there. Look at this.
Check.
They're like, hi, Jack. Hi, Chuck. Wow, dude. You have made a pretty big impact on YouTube.
I have?
Yeah, I think so, dude. I mean, if I had to compete against anybody, it would actually be you.
Really?
I think so.
Well, because we're in the same brokerage, I guess?
I don't know. Is that what it is?
I don't know. Well, it's an honor to be your competitor.
No, I appreciate you taking the time to come out here, because I tell you this. Not a lot of agents want to come on the show. I don't know why.
Why not?
They just don't like me.
You know, I just appreciate the opportunity to share, my opinion about the market and everything, and, just have a good conversation, get to meet you finally in person.
I know. This is weird. So well, obviously we're on YouTube and all that stuff, right? But I've never seen you in person until the other day. I was at, where were we? D.R. Horton, right? Was it D.R. Horton?
No, it was over Woodside Homes.
Oh, Woodside Homes. That's what it was. Yeah, out in the Northwest, right off the 95 in Kyle Canyon, right?
Uh-huh.
Those are actually some pretty good properties that, did you end up selling that property to your client or?
Not that property. I haven't sold one home in that community. I don't know why. Woodside is a tough sell. I don't know why.
Well, I don't know if Woodside's a tough sell. Don't you think that location is kind of out there? I mean, you're literally like the last master plan community out there.
That is true, but then you look across the street.
Sky Canyon, yeah.
Talus, Sky Canyon.
Yeah.
You know.
What's crazy is I heard that Sky Canyon used to own that community, but they broke it up because of the 95. Yeah. They were like, hey, you know what? We'll sell off. We'll create a whole another master plan. But I can't believe like how fast this city is growing. Do you think the city's growing too fast?
I don't think so. The problem is we have too many people moving out here to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And then it's just a matter of demand. And
yeah.
As long as we have the demand, the city is going to keep growing. That's just what it is.
I want to get your perspective, right? What do you see that's going on right now? Tell me, because you are literally out there showing properties on a consistent basis. What's happening in the marketplace? What do you see?
Yeah, so a little bit of history, like recent history, you know, what happened. Obviously, the interest rates have hurt the market big time last year. Everything was going insane. And then back in July, I remember looking up how many homes we had on the market.
Yeah.
And we were at 13,000 homes on the market. Ever since then, we've been trending down as far as inventory.
Yeah.
We got to December, we were at 9,000 homes on the market.
Okay.
And then we get to January, 6,000 homes on the market.
So let me backtrack for a second. Is 13,000 homes, is that a lot of homes?
Relative to recent
to this market,
history, yes, it is.
Okay.
I mean, if we look a little bit back, like February or March last year, we were at 2,500, 3,000 homes on the MLS.
Okay.
And that's just not a healthy market. That was a month of inventory that we had. But then what happened is not only the homes went up, but also demand went down. So then we had 5-6 months of inventory back in July. And that's what corrected the market. We had probably like a 12% correction all the way until December. December was the best time to buy. But then as soon as the year turned around, we had a bunch of people start coming out, start buying homes. You see all the builders bring up prices again. We're up. I would say I could buy the same KB home, for example, if we're looking at the medium price home, right? I could buy the same KB home in December. I would say out the door after upgrades and all that stuff, it would cost you about, I would say 10% less in December.
Oh, wow.
Than what it would cost you now. Not only price increases, but they took out all the incentives. Lot premium skyrocketed up. So 10%, that's a lot of money.
Wow. Now, where do you see the housing market going in the next 6 months? Because Vegas is like so trendy. It's like, it seems like every 30 days the market shifts. I mean, the beginning of the year things were slow, but now it's like I'm slammed. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird, you know. And I mean, if I had a crystal ball, right, I would obviously tell you everything. And there's no guarantees. Obviously, this is not financial advice from us. We're realtors. We're not supposed to give financial advice because we don't know your situation, right, as a buyer. But from my perspective, from what I see is I believe the market is going to keep going up. It's going to keep trending this way. And it's all connected to the interest rates and what's going to happen with those. So if they stay at the same rate that we are right now, we're probably going to see a slow increase, 3-5% per year kind of thing.
Okay.
Interest rates go up, we might see a flatten out, I believe, or interest rates go down, we'll see prices go up to the moon. We'll have 2021, 22 again. Okay,
so according to bankrate.com, rates right now are hovering about 6.5%, okay? Why do you think buyers are coming back out into the woodworks and buying now when their mortgage is going to be high?
Right. Well, real estate, if we go to the basics of it, it's an essential need. You need a roof on your head, right? And the question is, what's best for you? And would you buy a home right now, or what's the alternative? Are you going to live with your mom in your mom's basement, or are you going to rent a house? Now, rent a house, you get a 1,600 square foot home, it's probably going to cost you $2,000 a month. That's a lot of money, and it's all going to the landlord, to pay down their mortgage. Yeah. So now the same home will cost you $400,000 maybe, but your mortgage payment is going to be $3,000
Yeah.
a month, right? So you're losing $1,000, yes, but here's what you're gaining. You're gaining a fixed rate, 30 years. You have control over the property. You have control over the equity, whatever happens to the property. In addition, nobody can raise that $3,000 a month from you. You don't have a landlord that says, okay, I'm going to go from $2,000 this year to $2,500, which is what happened with the high inflation that we had. And, so if you look at it in the long term, it still makes sense today to buy for a lot of people. And that's why people are coming out and buying. But at the same time, you also have to understand if someone is trying to buy a house and, get $3,000 a month, that's also difficult for someone to afford. You're like, gosh, that's a lot of money. But I feel that inflation is a worse disease to people than that specific interest rate, because the interest rate, you can always refinance it later. If interest rates go down, good luck trying to buy a house. You might have a lower payment, but the house that you're going to buy is going to be a lot more expensive. And you're not marrying the interest rate at the end of the day. So people are seeing this as a temporary thing, maybe a few years until rates start calming down again. They refinance and they get a lower payment because then they're in control of the real estate. Right?
Now you're talking about, if this makes sense to buy a home, you're locked in for 30 years. But let me play devil's advocate.
Of course.
Okay. 30 years, I mean, that's a long time. I don't know one person that has lived in a home for 30 years and paid off their mortgage. The average person here will end up selling their home every 5 to 7 years. Right? So, again, I'm playing devil's advocate. If I was a buyer, why would I do that when I should just rent and let's see what happens? What do you tell a buyer?
Well, here's the question. Everybody has a different situation, right? So not everybody is supposed to buy in this market.
Yeah.
You have a lot of people from California coming out here, right? That's probably the majority of the people that buy, a home out here that are moving to Las Vegas. And they're coming out with a lot of equity. So for their situation, maybe they're selling their house, they're pulling out $400,000 or $500,000, and maybe buying a house that is $600,000. They're taking out a small mortgage, so the interest rate doesn't affect them. So is it now a right time for them to buy? Possibly. But let's say someone doesn't have the down payment. They have 5% down, let's say 3% down, right? The first-time home buyer. Is now the right time for them? It could be. The question is, what's the alternative? You go into renting. I guess you'll save money in the short term, but in the long term, most likely you'll lose it unless prices go down. But now you're paying every year. What is $2,000 times 12? That's $24,000 a year that you're paying, that you're losing. And if you look at that, how much of that is a percentage of the price of the house? $400,000. That's about 6-7%. That you're losing every year. So in order for you to break even, I guess the market would have to correct for the time that you're renting. The market has to go down at least 6 to 7%. If it goes down more than 6 to 7, then you'll make some money, I guess.
So it almost really sounds like you would have to determine how long you're going to be living here in Las Vegas.
Right.
So that would be like a key factor.
Yeah, and
right?
if you're buying for just a few years, 2-3 years, then don't buy, because you're going to have closing costs on the buying side.
Yeah,
you're going to have closing costs on the selling side, and that's going to be another 7-8%.
Yeah,
because then you have to pay realtor fees and all that stuff. So you're going to be in it 10% already just between closing fees. So it doesn't make sense to buy and sell it within 2 years. You always have to have a long-term perspective when it comes to real estate. 5 years or more if you're going to buy a house. Otherwise, don't buy it. If you're trying to gamble, whatever, just go to the slots machines.
You can pick and choose. There's a lot of that over here. Now, with new home builds, what type of incentives are you seeing right now?
We used to have incentives everywhere. And we're talking about design center incentives, lot premium incentives, everything. But now they're completely gone. As far as, not completely, some neighborhoods still have inventory that they need to get rid of. But for the most part, most of the inventory has been, is gone. And now builders are just focusing on buying down rates for buyers. Yeah. So you'll get, obviously, maybe some builders will give you closing costs. Maybe they'll buy down the rate. But there are some builders that are getting smart. They're saying, hey, we don't want cancellations because those are very expensive for us. So they lock in the interest rate for the full time that they're going to build a house. This, for example, KP does that. But yeah, those are the incentives that I'm seeing right now. As far as interest rates, they buy them down probably as low as 5%. I've seen some of them 4.5%.
Now, can you still negotiate a deal with the new home builds?
Depends where you're at.
Okay.
You go,
Explain.
can I name builders?
Yeah,
in a second?
yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's say we go to a builder, let's say Pulte, right? They overbuilt, with a bunch of specs last year, and it was just crazy. They had so much inventory, they needed to get rid of it. If they have a lot of inventory, then you have that as leverage because they need to get rid of it. And what you do is you negotiate by showing other comps in the area that are selling for less. We're talking about new construction homes, and say, hey, if you guys don't give me this deal, we're going to go to this builder.
Yeah.
That's been very successful for me. But the thing is, you also have to understand the situation. There are some builders, they won't budge at all. Some builders, they're way open. And, just got a contract right now in Cadence, and we got the price off $25,000 off of the purchase price. That's a lot of money on a $550,000 house.
Yeah.
But some other builders in the same situation won't do it. Or maybe it's the same builder. In one location, they don't have any inventory, so they're not going to budge on the price. And then another the same builder in another area has a bunch of inventory, they need to get rid of it.
So it really comes down to location and also what price point you're at, right? If you're at around that 450 at KB Homes and you're in the Southwest, you're probably not going to get a deal, right?
Right.
Versus if you were out Northeast or something like that and they had a bunch of standing inventory. Because I noticed what KB is doing now is that, especially in the Southwest, they actually now have a interest list. And some of the builders I've noticed, they're also doing like a drawing, which is kind of crazy. We're back to doing drawings.
Yeah, it's crazy. It started about a month and a half or so ago. We see Inspirata has drawings. We see up in the Northwest, they've been having drawings.
Yeah.
It feels like 2020 again, all over again when it started like this. But
Yeah.
Again, it comes down to the inventory. As I was telling you earlier, inventory in Las Vegas in general has been going down. I believe I saw it about a few days ago. We were at 4,800 homes in Clark County here. And that's very low if we're selling 2,900 homes a month.
Yeah.
Because that's like a month and a half of inventory.
Hey, York, whenever you have some free time, if you can pull the stats just on the single family here in Clark County, I want to see exactly how many resales we have. Also, I want to go back to with Pulte, because Pulte bought out American West. There are two different divisions. One quick plug that I want to plug in here is that I actually have the full list of standing inventory.
Oh, cool.
And the list is about 341 homes,
Nice.
right? I see the list. I know what they put into it. Like, I know exactly what's going on. And basically, they are literally trying to liquidate this thing. Like, I literally have a property right now I'm trying to help sell. The build out was about 850 by the time it was done, right? Just the base price alone is about, I think, 730,000. They're trying to get rid of it. They literally dropped it down to about 730.
Is that Ball Ridge?
No, I forget the name of the community. I think it's Haywood or something.
Hayford,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
and it's about 4,000 square feet, which is kind of crazy, and it's a really good deal. Like, as far as like price per square foot, I was pricing it out. I think it came out to like $187 a square foot, with the median price point being around like 200 and some change, which is kind of crazy to me.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
Going back to November last year, I sold those same floor plans, like the 4,000 square feet, two-story home. That was the best deal I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
It was that 4,000 square feet home. We sold it for, I believe it was $710,000. And this is all ready to go. And this was back in December, right?
Yeah.
Right now, they still have that inventory, and it's community specific, Like, you go up to the Northwest. We just got a deal right now. It was at from Pulte, the Park Lane one. We walked in. The price used to be $750,000.
That's a nice model, the Park Lane.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. One of my favorite homes. But back last year, this house was selling for $750,000.
Yeah.
We got it for $610,000.
Oh, wow.
$610,000. That's $140,000 off. That's more than 20% off. But again, it doesn't matter though the house itself. What I would focus on if I was a buyer in this market is what is the real value of the house. what can you get out? What else can you get out there?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what they were selling them before. If they were overpriced,
Yeah, they're
before,
just all numbers.
yeah, they were just overpriced maybe, and they weren't selling, or maybe they were selling to people that really didn't understand the product, so they were overpaying those people.
Yeah.
You know, they were doing lotteries on lots, $80,000, $100,000 for a lot just to get one and then build a house. So of course they had a lot of dropouts. Plus they spec'd out a bunch of homes, and now they can't get rid of them. That's why you're going to get a deal.
So what do you think? Okay, and you probably get this question asked all the time when a buyer calls you. Hey, I want to be in a great location. Like, I mean, where's a great location, or where do you actually start to look at homes, especially with new homes? Because new homes is not everywhere. I mean, they're pretty spread out, but builders will target certain locations, right? Because they know it's in high demand. Because when it comes to real estate, it's location. So I guess where's a good place to start looking at homes?
Oh, great question. So new homes are obviously going to be more on the outskirts of the city, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have more land over there, so builders start and they do, let's say, a master plan community or something like that. I would say if someone is looking to buy a home, it really depends on their lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be close to everything, you know, more centered in the city, then you have to be in the Southwest, right? It's closer to everything. They still have a bunch of land and a lot of buildings going up there. But if you're okay with being a little bit on the outskirts, go to Inspirada, Cadence, go to the Northwest, you know, because those are the areas that are still within 30 minutes to the Strip, and you can get a really nice neighborhood out there. But then you got to check, so many factors go into buying a house that everybody's different. You have a young family with kids, you got to look at the school districts. Okay, now, which schools do you have in that place? What's going to happen later on in the future? What kind of community do you have, right? So for a family person, I would say, hey, check out Inspirada, check out Sky Canyon. You know, there's more of that sense of community, bunch of parks and all that stuff, so the kids can all get together and all, and relatively good school districts. But then for someone else that doesn't have that, they're saying, hey, you know, I like this lifestyle. I go out, I like to go to Chinatown and eat every day out. You know, I don't care. I don't have kids. I don't need school districts. You know, okay, then maybe you're more prone to be into Southwest or other areas. You know, maybe a resale home will work for you or whatever it is, right? So it's a case-by-case scenario. You know?
So each community, what you're saying, has a certain vibe, a certain lifestyle that may fit the right person, right? Which I would have to totally agree with you. A lot of people, you know, when I have conversations with them, you know, as far as buying a home, one of the first things that they always say is, I want to go to SUMMERLIN. Right. And I mean, I don't know what it is about SUMMERLIN, but everybody likes SUMMERLIN. But when they come out here and we start looking around, right, they start to realize, okay, I can buy this home in SUMMERLIN, exact same home, exact from the same builder. It costs me $100,000 more. If I went, you know, somewhere else, it'd be a lot less. And this happens all the time, because now it's like, okay, SUMMERLIN is great, but let's say if we went over to the Southwest, I'm saving $100,000 more, but this kind of hits like all the targets, right? 9 out of 10, this makes sense, right? And that's what I see buyers end up doing.
Especially with the higher interest rates.
Oh,
right?
yeah. And what kills me is that, you know, I've been doing this long enough, and sometimes I'll have I'll have this conversation with a client. I know exactly what they're looking for, and I take them straight to the source, and they're like, no, I want to keep looking. Then we'll spend all day looking, but then come back to the same house, and we end up buying a house.
Of course.
Yeah. Has that ever happened to you?
Question for you. Do you sell a lot of homes in SUMMERLIN?
I actually sell a few. We have a few in contract, yeah.
I mean, compared to other communities that we mentioned right now.
You know what? I'm pretty spread out. I don't really like focus on one area. Yeah, I'm all over the board, man.
No, I'm just curious because
it's not always SUMMERLIN. I would say right now, I don't know. I would have to check our open escrow sheet. Hey, York, can you pull up the comps? And I want to see exactly how many homes we currently have right now for resale for single family across the valley. Just only single family residents, detached, please.
By the way, when I mentioned the homes on the market, the 4,800 recently, that was everything: condos, townhomes, single family. But that's just a reference, right? Obviously.
No. I got you. But I just want to pull up single family residents. I don't want to add condos or townhomes because majority of the buyers will end up buying a house first, detached. Then if they can't afford that, then they'll move on to, a townhome, then a condo. So that's very important. Now, here's the thing. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to continue. So on our next segment, I want to talk about when you are buying a brand new home and the things that you guys got to look out for. All right, guys. So we will take a quick break.
Is your credit score holding you back from purchasing a home? GC Credit Coaches is a repair company that's made easy. Their goal is to challenge and remove all negative errors that hurt your credit score. On average, GC clients see about 10.2 negative items removed over 4 months. Start improving your credit score today with a simple 2-minute online enrollment for a free consultation and a complete credit audit. GC Credit Coaches offers competitive monthly pricing, no contracts, no hidden fees, and the service stops once you are satisfied. GC Credit Coaches removes inquiries, collections, charge-off bankruptcies, and repossessions. Don't forget to visit gccreditcoaches.com.
Attention contractors, remodelers, and homeowners. Is your renovation becoming a pain in the glass? Here at Glass Vegas, we take care of all of your glass needs, from a broken window to custom shower doors, mirrors, winding closures, storefronts, railings, and much more. We can even help you with new or replacement thermally broken windows. We're a full-service, woman-owned glass company that provides unparalleled workmanship, excellent communication, and great customer service. Glass Vegas. We do glass with class.
Does your house look like and have you been considering remodeling your home for some time now? Well, if you love real estate like I do and appreciate the attention to detail in the craftsmanship required to build a remodel or a gorgeous home, then I got the perfect company for you. Guys, I highly recommend Design Zone Remodeling. They're a stellar company that will turn your outdated home into your own personal set. Specialize in bathroom remodels, kitchen, and full house remodels. Design Zone Remodeling for excellent workmanship, competitive fees, and offer a wide range and deliver the outstanding results to their clients. I use Design Zone Remodeling on my personal properties. Give Design Zone Remodeling a call today at 725-223-71. Site at designzoneremodeling.com to request a free consultation today.
All right, guys, we are back. If you guys are just tuning in, my name is Chakits Krulsawat with Simply Vegas, licensed real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada, host of the LV Home Experts podcast. Our special guest today, Jack Graham. We're going to talk about new homes and the things that you need to look out for. Okay, so before we get into it, looks like as of today, we currently have total of 4,006 homes currently available, and this is a detached single-family residence. The median price point for a home right now is at $430,000. Price per square foot, I talk about this all the time, that you guys should be using this as a barometer. $233 a square foot, with an average days on the market is 21 days. That is a crazy amount of days. Things are moving like this. I've got people coming from California, believe it or not. They're like, yo, let me get a deal. Let me get a steal. I'm like, dude, that was like 30 days ago. You ain't getting that now, especially if you're looking at homes at the 450 and below for resale homes. What can you get? 1,900 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath with a 2-car garage. Question for you, Jack. Should I buy a brand new home or a resale home?
Oh, good question. So every home has, if it's new or resale, they have their own advantages, right? Yeah. So if you buy a brand new home, you're gonna have 10-year warranty, 1 year on everything, and you can also get, depending on the builder, a good deal, a good incentive, maybe buy down your rate to as low as 5%, which is huge. You can have a lot lower payments. But then on the resale market, you can get something for cheaper, most likely.
Yeah.
And it's going to have the backyard already done. You're not going to have, you don't have to put, blinds in the house and all these little things that add up. As a matter of fact, when you buy a home, you move in, there's still a lot of things that you need to do. You got to hire a landscaper, and then you got to get the blinds, and then you got to get Maybe you have to remodel something because you couldn't afford to put the flooring in at the design center. So it's a case-by-case scenario. I would say resale is the way to go if you're looking maybe at a fixer-upper and, just buying the house, then remodeling it yourself. Or if it's a good deal. New home, if it's a house that maybe you have to live in, most people usually tend to buy a new home because they want that home. They don't care to pay a little bit more, but to get to a brand new home. So again, case by case scenario. There's not a one answer fits all kind of scenario.
Now, I notice buyers always want a brand new home, but when you start pricing that thing out, they're like, whoa, this is getting pretty pricey.
Right.
Because obviously the model, right, is not what you're going to get. And a lot of buyers are always misinformed. They think what they see is what they get.
I 100% agree. And as a matter of fact, that's why they need to call an agent like ourselves to represent them throughout the transaction. Because before even going into the design center, we've already been there. We know what it's going to cost you out the door. So you're going to be prepared. Hey, this is not included. This is something you have to do. And then they can make a good decision based on the total amount for the house versus, what the base price is.
Then once you get that total amount, you take that total amount, you divide that by the square footage, right? And it tells you what you're paying per square foot. And now you can kind of see what you get. Then you go out into the marketplace, you look at the resale and see what you can get for the price per square foot for the exact same home, and you kind of price it out. But like you said, on a resale, the backyard may be already done. Well, normally it's already done. And you may just have to do kitchen countertops or paint the cabinets, and you already have the house that you want, but just saved about $50,000, $60,000, and all those things are done. Because I can tell you, landscaping in today's market, it is not cheap. Landscaping is very pricey.
Yeah, you're looking for a backyard, let's say a 20 by 40 in a backyard. That's 800 square feet. To put in, some regular landscaping like turf and pavers and all that, it's going to cost you $10,000.
Yeah.
So that's not cheap, and maybe 8 to 10, something like that, right? So it's all money that you have to anticipate before you get under contract. And then if new fits, your budget, then great, we can go new. Otherwise, explore resale. Resale is totally fine.
Okay, so let's get into this, okay? Buying a brand new home. What are the things that you look out for when you're buying a brand new home, right? Yeah. And I wanted to do this with you because I think this is perfect, because one of the challenges that I always get asked from a potential buyer, the buyer will say, hey, what is a better builder? What is a better home, right? How do you compare from one builder to another, right? How do you give that advice?
After the question of, is the market going to crash? That's the second question that I get every time. Who's the best builder? And there's, again, it's not a matter of being the best builder. It's just the best builder for you.
Yeah.
It depends on your price range and all that. Every builder is, upheld to the standards that the city gives them. You have to put in a certain R13, whatever, insulation and all that stuff, the materials you need to use. It needs to be energy efficient. They do all the tests and all that stuff.
So there's a standard that builders will have a requirement.
Correct.
Okay.
But then it comes down to, okay, what you're like, well, which builder, they say, okay, KB uses cheap materials. Okay, so do 80% of the builders out there. So is it really a bad builder? Well, the house will last. It'll be fine. It'll be great. Yeah. It's just a matter if that's your budget, that's the home we have to go for. If not, then we have to go with something else more expensive, say a Pulte, a Tri-Point, a Toll Brothers. But is that really a better builder? Maybe it is overall. But at the end of the day, the most important person that is going to be that is responsible on whether or not you get a good quality home is the superintendent that builds it, which is something that people really underestimate all the time. Yeah. But if you get a bad superintendent, and I've seen them even with the best builders, Toll Brothers, Tri-Point, you will get a shitty house compared to getting, let's say, a KB that will be way better quality if you have a good superintendent.
From your experience, why do you say that?
Well, because they are the ones responsible for the trades that come into your house. If they don't double check on their work, they're just gonna get the job done, whatever way they do it, they leave and they mess it up. So it's just a matter of keeping them accountable. to do what they said they were going to do. If you, and this is where the inspection comes in, where I'm sure you get your clients to do inspections, and it's a must. You have to do at least 2 inspections on the property while you're building the house, because yes, trusting is good, but you have to trust, but also verify if they're doing their job right. And us, we're not experts. I don't build a house every day.
Yeah.
You know, I could be an expert at selling a home, but I'm not an expert at building the house. So I don't know all the ins and outs and all that stuff. So we hire someone to do the inspection, make sure they're doing a quality job, and then you won't have those issues. And most of the people that you see them go on social media. Oh, I have this crack going across the whole house and all that stuff. It's bad. The builder messed up the structure for me whenever they did it. Well, did you have an agent that guided you through this? The answer 95% of the time is no. Even if they had an agent, well, did your agent say, okay, get a home inspection on the house, or during this stage of the build and during this stage of the build? And they'll say, no, I didn't. I thought it was new. I didn't know we do inspections on brand new homes.
Yeah.
That's what most people say. And that's the ignorance of going into a brand new home. They think, oh, this is easy. I don't need a realtor, or I don't need anybody to do this. I can just go in and sign, and that's it. And not only on the negotiation side, when you get an expert that knows the market, they can tell you, hey, this is what this should sell for. Maybe you have to get this incentive because that's what I got for my clients last.
Yeah.
But in addition, they give you their experience, having been through this process several times.
Now, how do you compare value, value from one builder to another? That's what I want to talk about, and the things that you look out for. So let me start off with this. Like, let me give you an idea. Okay, so one of the things I look at, right, is this builder, and we're going to compare like the exact same square footage price point, okay? Are they using 2x4 or 2x6? That's the first thing I look at.
Right.
Another thing I look at is the type of insulation do you get? Do you get batten insulation or blown-in insulation? Some builders, right, standard is R13 inside the walls. Inside the attic is actually R30. But what happens is some builders may give you R15 and also R38, but it could also be blown in or also batten. So these are things I look at. Also, one more thing I'm going to throw in there. Does the house come with a radiant barrier, right? So some builders, you may get the same price, right, but you don't get these additional things. You may look at a builder and say, hey, I'm going to go with this one. It's cheap, but some of the materials, you don't even get those kind of things. And by the time you upgrade your home to be sufficient, right, energy efficient at that point, now it costs you just as much as that home that you looked at where you said it was expensive. So I think this is important that you hire, the right agent that really understand these kind of things. And this is a kind of a sales pitch to you guys. At the end of the day, I want you to call Jack or myself to help you guys to build a new home, because if anybody's experienced, it's the both of us. But enough with the sales pitch. What other things would you look for to compare one builder to another to say this is a good value, you're getting this?
That's great. And I love how you literally pointed out all the most important factors that really differentiate most of the builders. Like there's Pulte. I love their quality of build. I love they do blown-in insulation. Attic is insulated as well. They have radiant barrier, all that stuff. And it's just a really good, build overall. But then right next to it, they put an R15, an AC unit that is not rated as much as, say, as a KB that uses the, better AC. So every part is different, but I do love, if I had to point out one builder that I like the quality, I love the blown insulation that Pulte provides.
They ain't paying you, are they?
They are not.
Okay. How much you getting paid?
Don't tell anybody. No, but really, I do like that. But then at the end of the day, what it comes down to is I like to compare this to cars, for example, because that's something that most people are more familiar to. Let's say you buy a Kia. You get a lot of value with a Kia. You get a cheap product, and it's still a decent car. It will last you 200,000 miles. The maintenance is not going to be that bad. So you're going to have a good, solid car. Now, is it going to be the prettiest car out there?
Well, it's not going to be that name brand that you're talking about.
Right.
But, I'm going to have to say I'm not a Kia guy. I'm more of a Hyundai Sonata kind of guy.
There we go. Honda. It's the Korean twins, right?
Yeah. See, look, you make a good point, and that's a great analogy because my wife wanted a luxury vehicle, right? And this is years ago, and I was looking at pricing, right? BMW, because I like BMW, and we looked at a Hyundai Sonata, the special edition. You got all the bells and whistles compared to the BMW that she wanted. You got more bells and whistles on this Hyundai Sonata, which was crazy to me. And I was like, babe, it makes sense to buy this. It had heated seats. It literally had everything. So we bought that car. And we still have that car till today. But luckily enough, now she has a beautiful car. She's got a BMW now.
There we go. And that's a good analogy right there to go with, let's say, that starter builder kind of thing, or the builder that doesn't include all the bells and whistles. Yeah. But then you can upgrade it to make it look like that, and it's still not going to cost you as much. Yeah. But then it comes down to the structure as well. You were mentioning earlier 2x4s, 2x6s. You look at some of the builds by, TB, Tri-Point, and all of those, they use a lot more of those 2x6s, better framing and all, because they also sell out in California. And sometimes they bring their designs over here to Las Vegas. And you see these homes loaded up with 2x6s, and they're like every 5 inches, on some of the walls and all that stuff. And the reason why is because their designs are a little bit different, and they have to they don't change the designs, and they bring them from California that has way stricter rules than us because of the earthquakes and all that stuff. So, some builders, you'll have some builders that do have a better structure and all, but does that mean that the house is going to fall? Right? Is a 2x4 house going to fall? No, it's going to be great. It's going to last you forever, most likely.
Because it has to be built to code. Obviously, somebody's coming out, they're taking a look at it. There's plans in place. The city's got to approve. Now, let's talk about this. One of the things that we look at is hot water heater. Tankless hot water heater, or do you prefer one with a tank? Does that matter?
Well, it does. Definitely tankless is going to be better. You don't have that water in your house. It lasts probably longer. A tank water heater is going to have, you have a leak or something. It's going to damage the drywall underneath unless you have that pan. So tankless, yes, definitely is better. But, you're probably not going to notice it until you have to go out and change it. You're like, oh, if I would have gotten tankless, it would have cost me this much. But I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, I think tankless, you actually save money because you don't have to reheat that water while you're not using it.
Well,
because it's instant, right?
Well, depending on the hot water heater, because every hot water heater is rated certainly different, right? And also, you can actually set the temperature and also set it when the kick on, the kick off. These things are getting more smarter and smarter now, especially there's some water heaters now that are connected to your phone, which is, I think it's kind of cool. Yeah. Now, for me, there's pros and cons. For me, if I get a brand new home, I'm going to go tankless because I think it's just cool, right? The problem with that is depending on the square footage of your home, right? This is something that you have to take a look at value-wise, okay? The coverage for something like that, if you have a 3,500 square foot home, you may need 2. Some builders may only give you 1, right? The downfall is this with a hot water heater like this is that it may take a minute to heat up. But once it's heated up, you have consistent hot water. The ones that actually have a tank, you get instant hot water like that, but you can also run out.
Exactly.
So another thing I want to talk about, right? You compare one builder to another for value-wise, right? What you get for your money standard is that some builders, right? Soft water loop, right? There's a company that gives you the soft water loop with the price, but then another builder may charge you $650 for a water soft loop, which is kind of crazy to me. It's like, it should already be like mandatory that it comes in. But these are the certain things that you need to look out for and you should have because in the near future, because every time I spec out a home, honestly, I always look at the resale value, right? I'll have this conversation with the client. Hey, what is your budget? Okay, I've got 30 grand. We got to spend this money wisely, right? Because we're going to end up selling this. The average person here in Las Vegas only lives from 5 to 7 years before they scale up or scale down on their home. Now, another thing I want to talk about that, consumers should be looking at, the main water line, okay? There are some builders that may have 1.5 inches or 2 inches. Typically, when you start getting around like 3 inches, we're talking about 4,000 or 5,000 square foot home. So this is just the main water line that's coming into your home because you want to know exactly what that flow is, okay? On that water line, okay, you also have another line that's attached to it, and that line goes to the irrigation system. And these are things I look at. Does it come with a valve, on and off valve for the irrigation system? And you know what I'm talking about. When a homeowner leaves, to go on vacation, they can turn off the main water valve to the house, but the irrigation will continuing to keep watering your plants. Some builders may include it, some may not, which is, I feel like it should be mandatory, but this is something that I feel that they should be looking out for as well.
For sure, 100%.
Now, do you have anything out there that you want to share as far as what you think buyers should look out for from one builder to another?
Yeah, I mean, you did cover quite a bit, but again, this comes down to, at the end of the day, to your budget. There are some builders that don't include those soft water loop. There's a bunch of stuff like you have to put in a ceiling fan pre-wire in every bedroom. Yeah. Going into a room without, a ceiling fan pre-wire is just, you have to have a lamp on your nightstand. It just doesn't make
who
sense.
wants that?
Right. Most builders do not include one in the bedrooms. Yeah. And it's something that you have to put in every time, in my opinion. Yeah. But again, it comes down to your budget, and they'll nickel and dime you on everything to try to get you. It's like a bait and switch kind of thing where they get you in with the low price, but then you have to go, oh, you got to put this in, and then you have to put this in. Oh, and what about this? And I understand why they do it, but I also understand how they want to keep the price low for some people. Yeah. Some people don't care about the ceiling fan pre-wire. They think they're going to live in there forever, so that's what it is. And they don't want to do all the upgrades. And it's better to go in at a lower price and then they remodel it themselves. But those are the things that you have to watch out for. And I would say, and again, when it comes to those things, I tend to not share my experience with these things when it comes to water lines and all that, because I'm not a professional when it comes to that. But I make sure that I get the inspectors to do the inspections that they have to do so that we know for sure this house is livable and you're not going to have issues in the future. That's the main thing for that. Now,
another thing that, I look at, I want to talk about the air conditioning unit. Okay. Now, a lot of people are not aware of this. So the SEER rating, right? Kind of explain what the SEER rating is and how kind of that works. Hey, York, if you're listening to this, can you get me a Diet Coke, please? I would really appreciate it. Do you want something to drink?
I have my water, thanks.
You sure you don't want a soda or coffee?
Good.
All you got to do is let York know.
I try to stay healthy, man, not eat sodas and stuff, so not drink stuff.
You know what's so funny is you look totally different from your photo. Really? Yeah, you know that photo out there? I'm going to tell you this. When I seen you at that New Homes track, at first I was like, this is Jack. I'm not too sure who the hell this is. I didn't recognize you, bro. Because I've never seen you like in person, you know what I mean?
In your defense, we
I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Take that picture a long time ago. Okay. We're talking about 6 years ago or so.
You know what's so funny? I got to change my picture too, bro. Because that does not look like me whatsoever.
Well, and then you're making me even fatter in this video.
Bro, you actually look good on camera, dude.
I don't know about that.
You look like an MMA fighter right now.
I wish.
Nah, you make more money doing this. You're good. Okay, so I want to go back to the SEER rating. Guys, these are the things that you should be looking out for and why this is important. Look at, he's like, I need $1. You sure you want a soda?
I'm good.
Thanks. Okay. Okay, let's explain for the viewers the SEER ratings and why this is important, okay?
So you could have, for example, a house that is very well built, very tight, insulated. They do actually pressure tests every house for city code. Yeah. And that is one thing. But then you have the unit itself is kind of like that engine, the AC unit. And that one has a rating of how energy efficient it is. And that rating, the higher it is, if let's say it's a SEER 16, it's going to have a better quality. It is a better quality air conditioning unit. But some builders will put in a 14 SEER, a 15 SEER, and then you won't know about it until you move in and you see the bill that is a lot higher, right? Because they don't check it.
That has happened. And sorry to interrupt you, but this is a public announcement, and this is very important. When you are buying a new home builds, and I'm sorry, Jack, because I got to really mention this. When you're buying a new home builds, you literally have a list of what's included. Check the AC units, check out the SEER rating, and also the brand. It tells you on there. But sometimes when you go to the closing table after you're done, a lot of home buyers, they end up moving in, different AC unit, different SEER rating. So you need to make sure you get the exact same SEER rating. And this has happened time and time again because of the supply chain, and I understand. But go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure it could have been probably a mistake from the builder or whatever, but at the end of the day, you have to do your due diligence, right? And double check to make sure that they're not doing it wrong. But then, you have a higher efficiency, a better efficient, unit, you're going to have a lower bill. That's why some builders, they're big about energy efficiency, and they will go ahead and install a 16 SEER unit versus other builders, they will just go with a 14 or 15 SEER because buyers don't know the difference anyway, so they're not going to make money from it.
Yeah. Now, does the brand make a difference from one AC unit, or is there a certain brand that you like?
I'm not sure. I don't know really the difference between the brands. I know there's Lennox. I see that one a lot. But to be honest, I don't know the difference between those. I just look at the SEER and all. And what's your experience with that?
Okay, so I'm a little bit expert in this field because I used to do air conditioning for a living at one point. Until it got so hot inside the attic, I was like, I quit. And the guy was like, one of the guys that were working with me, he's like, you ain't gonna quit. I was like, I just left the job site. It was like literally like 140 in the attic.
Dude,
with insulation. It was so freaking hot.
I remodeled my house last year, and I went into the attic to install some recess lights.
Wow, you did it yourself? The recess lights?
Well, some things, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty handy. I've fixed up homes before myself, install stuff. But when I went up there, the insulation, the dust, it was 140 degrees. I'm like, how do these people do this?
That's why they charge you a shitload of money, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy. Now, with me with the air conditioning units, typically like the brand is like Trane. And Trane is like the Ferraris of all Ferraris. But then you have like Carrier, which is a great brand. Yeah. You have like Lennox is like a great brand. But then when you start going into like the products like Goodman, right? Goodman is like the Kia or the Sonata that we're talking about. But they're not your top notch, but they are efficient as well. Now, when it comes to air conditioning units, right? Can you talk a little bit more about like zones? Because I think this is important, and buyers need to know this, because sometimes on a 2-story, you can have one air conditioning unit that supplies all of the rooms, but there could be 1 or 2 or even 3 zones that, they should be looking out for. Can you kind of explain the zones and what those are?
Yeah, of course. So when you get a new home, it's going to be rated, you're going to need a certain AC unit size, right? You can have, let's say, a 2,500 square feet home that has only 1 unit, and it's supplying different zones. You could have the primary bedroom has 1 zone, the second floor has a second zone, and then the downstairs has another zone. But what it is they put a little flap in the duct, the AC duct, that kind of, it turns. So if it's flat, what happens is it stops the airflow. If you turn it sideways, then it allows the airflow to go through. So you can literally, from your thermostats inside the house, change where the airflow goes, and you can just supply, let's say, the downstairs or just the primary bedroom at night, so you can change the temperature between those rooms or those zones. But then you always want to keep it within a certain difference, delta. You don't want to go more than 10 degrees, probably is going to be unhealthy for the house.
Okay. One thing that I noticed, the smart panel box, right? Let's talk about that a little bit. What is a smart panel box, and what are the things that you look out for, or do you see like from one builder to another?
Yeah, most builders nowadays, they do these smart panel boxes. They don't include all the Cat 5, all the Cat 6s going through all the bedrooms and all, but that's something that you can add yourself.
Okay.
One thing that I like about the box is that it does allow you, they put in an orange Smurf tube in it.
Yeah.
And it has a little wire in there that you can pull a cable in the future. So if you have fiber optic, internet or whatever it is, you can add it later on in the future. You're not going to have those wires outside of your house that are going to look very ugly. So that smart panel definitely helps with that. And then you have, you can put in your internet in there, your router. You can put in, whatever you want to fish it to all the rooms, so you can have wired internet. So definitely most of the builders do include it now, and that's definitely a pro for all the new construction homes versus resale. That most resale homes, at least 20 years back, they don't have that stuff.
Jack, I'm going to say this, man. You are actually one of my best guests that I actually enjoy having a conversation with, honestly.
Keep it going.
Because, I mean, I could talk about this, like, literally all day, and I just love real estate. And I just want to say thanks for coming out. I literally had a great time having a conversation with you. Like, seriously, dude. Like, we can literally chop it up. I actually really want to bring you back on the show because there's just so much more information that we need to share with the consumers out there, because when you buy a home, you got to buy it the right way, the smart way. And believe it or not, there's no cost to hire us, right? It's free.
No, I mean, they pay for everything. The builder pays for you to have a realtor to negotiate and bring the price down.
Isn't that weird?
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Now, I got to give the credit where credit is due. Jack Graham, he's the #1 top agent for Simply Vegas. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
If somebody wants to work with you, right, where is the best place to find you? How do I get in contact with you?
Well, I guess you can look me up on YouTube. My name, Jack Graham. You can find me there. My info is all in there. So if you guys want to go there and reach out to me, you want to tell me how bad I was on this podcast, go ahead and do it, guys.
Well, you know what? I do appreciate you coming on out here, and we're about to end this show. So, guys, if you guys haven't had a chance to subscribe to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Until next week, Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm Chakits with Simply Vegas. Peace.